Lawrence, Kansas is a town that is rich in history. Lawrence was founded by the New England Immigrant Aid Society in 1854. One house in particular that isn't far from campus is an old Dutch colonial structure known as Varsity House at 1043 Indiana, which is over 100 years old.
1043 Indiana Street is a house that was built in 1908. It most likely was designed by Harriet Tanner. She was a local person from Lawrence that designed and built houses and financed houses for KU faculty members.
1927 saw a different group reside within its walls when Delta Zeta sorority purchased the structure, and again in 1950 when the house was converted for use by the University of Kansas football team as a dormitory, thus acquiring the name it was known for today.
Hode only lived in the house until 1912, so for 4 years he lived in the house. When he owned the house, he took on boarders as well. There were several extra bedrooms in the house that they would rent out. Professor Hode left the university in 1912, went to the University of Michigan, and eventually sold the house. In 1918, it was sold to a fraternity. So it served as a fraternity house from 1918 to around 1926. In that time frame, there was an addition built onto the back of the house, and so that the more fraternity members could live at the house.
Presently, the house has been discarded and is neglected. It looks like the structure will inevitably be torn down and a new structure will be built in its place.
I've been working with an organization called Lawrence Modern, and we've spent a lot of time going from visiting these houses of these architects who are basically unknown, but were very well known then. Because, these generations forget everything. Anything that isn't yesterday is Egyptian. It might as well be Egyptian.
As an experiment, I questioned local students what they knew about the house.
Actually, I just live right down the street from that house. It'd be really weird to not see it when I'm walking to school every day.
It will be there for centuries. The thing about architecture and architects is unlike doctors, architects can't bury their failures, but doctors bury us all the time, right? It's gone. But this thing is going to be there for 100 years or longer.
The house, most say, is as solid today as the day it was built. 1043 Indiana Street is the perfect candidate for nomination to the National Register of Historic Places.
Yeah. The significant thing about being eligible to be listed is that it takes any doubt out of what is possible from financing into things. A property that's on the state and national register is eligible to use preservation tax credits as part of the restoration.
However, the nomination is at the discretion of the building's owner. In the case of this building, the owner wishes to demolish the structure, deeming it unfit for use, and replace it with a high-density apartment complex.
Well, I was president of the Lawrence Preservation Alliance for 2 years, so I've done a lot of work with the Lawrence Preservation Alliance, and we've preserved, and that organization has preserved a lot of buildings. The one that I really worked hard on was the English Lutheran Church down at 11th and New Hampshire, which was going to be torn down. It's an 1870 church. Also, I believe that's another John Haskell building. And it was going to be torn down by the Allen Press, the president of the Allen Press. They wanted to tear it down, turn it into a parking lot, and maybe someday develop it. And we fought very publicly for months over that particular building. And we went to court several times, and we won in court, and we saved that building.
Why don't we preserve history and keep our tradition alive?